So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the IT Experts Podcast, the only podcast to help ambitious IT and tech business owners increase their sales, profit, and productivity. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the IT Experts Podcast. And today we're actually talking to a techie business about a techie issue. And the issue we're talking about today is how to get the best out of your SEO strategy. Now, I'm joined on the podcast today by David Johnson. Good afternoon, David. How are you doing?
Oh, absolutely amazing, Ian. Thank you for having me.
Good man. The reason he's been amazing is because he's just managed to go away on holiday and come back and not be quarantined. So you're one of those people who I have a little red dot on your head, mate, in terms of envy. So look, well done for doing that. The purpose of the podcast today is explain to the tech community about SEO, about your website, and about why I'm talking to many people about why they're not paying as much attention as this. I think the reason it is super important, and one of the things that's happened to me, and I don't mind sharing this, people will know that I'm a bit of a vulnerable character when it comes to learning how to grow a business. I think it's good from experience as well as kind of mistakes. I've never really been bothered too much about my website. I don't know why, probably because I was generating good business from meeting up with people, etc., etc. And then one night I got a message and it said, "Hello, can you help me scale my MSP business?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." And I replied back to him, and he was from a 20 million Aussie dollar MSP in Adelaide. And I thought it was a bit of a wind up to start with. Ended up in a dialogue, ended up in a chat, and I was just dying to ask him, "How on earth did you find my website?" And he said, "I Googled how to scale my MSP business," and I popped up. That was probably one of the first situations that had happened to me. And I thought, I want more of that. So I reached out to the network, and within my trusted network, Dave's there. And Dave, you did a great job, Dave. And I'm not going to be, you were very, very polite when you did my website audit in terms of, I think when you'd done it, I think your head was in your hands going, "Oh my word, this is like, yes, Ian, we can do some great things with your website." And you've basically transformed it. We haven't relaunched it because it's just part of the brand. So there's kind of a bit of a precursor on the importance of getting the right SEO strategy. And Dave is an expert. He's got his own company called Loud Crowd, and he's now going to explain a little bit about kind of what he does, who he is, and kind of who he helps. So the floor's yours, Dave.
Well, thank you very much, Ian. First thing I have to say is, because a lot of people still don't know what SEO stands for. And the main thing is it's Search Engine Optimisation. And I always try and explain it in a few ways. Some people say, "Oh, it's to get your business at top of Google." It is and it isn't. The main reason is to beat your competitors on Google. And then you've got to think of it that way. If the top person or top search query and your business is at top, it's 1,000 hits. The one underneath probably gets 500. The one beneath that gets after 500, 250. And it gets less and less as you get to the bottom of Google. Right. And once you get page 2, you'd be lucky if you get much traffic at all. So by being on the first, you can get tons of traffic to your website. That's where people miss out.
And essentially, in the IT and the MSP space, all we actually want is the phone to ring, isn't it? It's no more complicated than that. You see all these people with these e-commerce websites, and I know that they can do an amazing, functionality, but we just want to get those messages from the Australians that say, "Can you help me? Can you help me with my IT? Can you help me with this solution? Can you help me with, whatever it is that you're providing right now?" Well, give us a bit of your background, Dave, because you haven't just started doing this, have you? You've been in the tech world for quite a while, haven't you?
Oh, yes. I started 10 years ago. Similar to a few people in IT sector. Yeah. I did my CompTIA A+. I did all my IT stuff. I did my training on Microsoft. But I'm just a Mac lover. And I learned about SEO because I wanted to grow my business. And it just escalated from there, that I got the love of it because it's always changing. I love a challenge. And I thought, right, this is great. I want to learn this. I want to do it. And I just went in massively on it. And I really enjoy the way Google keeps changing things because it keeps us all on its toes.
So what does success look like to you then? When you say, oh, I love it because I've got to get to hunt the algorithm and that sort of thing. What does winning look like to you then in terms of data? Because data can be quite a dry subject, can't it?
I think your winning is just knowing when your clients are saying that they're doing amazing.
Yeah.
And especially when you're getting phone calls and messages from your client and you send a quick email saying, what's your figures in last 12 months compared to the previous 12 months?
Yeah.
And I think my last email came back and said, well, when we started with you, we were doing 80 and now we're doing 240. And it's like, that's the fact that you do. It just puts a grin on your face. The team love it. So you know when you're doing a great job. Yeah.
And essentially the whole structure around SEO and its performance is around what people are thinking, which means what people are searching, doesn't it? That's a bit of the game, is to try and work out what people are going to search to find your website and your business, and how well the words are ranked, and understanding kind of all the maths that sits behind in the background, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, search intent, people get struggled what it means. And you've got to look behind the search intent. So if somebody's searching for, I don't know, a local IT company to help me out, what's the intent behind the intent in the first place? So you've got to think, put yourself in their position. Why are they Googling them keywords? So it could be they've had enough of their IT company. They've really been let down. They're fed up of their emails dropping off. Computers keep getting hacked. So you've got to think of why the search is there in the beginning. And that's where you can win. Create your content on the intent behind the intent.
And it's something that you've taught me, because it's the pages rank and not the website, isn't it? So it's exactly what you said there. So I think a lot of people. Well, let me ask you the question then. Come on, let's get some coaching out of this while we're on it. Let's get a bit of extra value. Would a good Google term, bringing no into play now, be IT support Luton? Or would it be better to, how do I recover from being hacked on, I don't know, Office 365 or something like that? Is that kind of what you're saying? It's more about what problem are people going to the internet to solve rather than what they're actually looking for?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, people get misconceptions on what they think they need to rank for. And you do get a lot of that. I'm not saying it don't work. It does if you're looking for an IT company in Luton. But when you do keyword research, you'll find the weirdest things people Google for. And my biggest example for you is a scaffolding company we look after. Yeah, they've got scaffolding in Birmingham, scaffolding in London, but you're getting search queries. The biggest is like, what weight can a scaffolding hold? Now, you would not believe people would Google that stuff. And then the next one was something like, do I need planning permission for scaffolding? These are the search queries people are looking at and searching for. And if they're landing on your page, you've already got an element of trust because you've been open about things that people are wanting to know. And it's only the same with any sector. So you were correct. On IT, why are they Googling for you in the first place? And yeah, you hit nail on the head. I've been let down. The office has been hacked. Put in what you think, not what you think, but what people are Googling for.
Computer keeps breaking and that sort of thing. And then all of a sudden you put out an opinion piece, a credibility building blog around that has those terms in it. And bingo, all of a sudden you're now the authority, aren't you, in terms of fixing the problem or not getting hacked, or your cybersecurity, or the tech solution, the networking, the routers, whatever it might be, in terms of helping them out. That's really interesting. That's one of the things that kind of opened up my world a little bit when you sort of said, well, what are they actually Googling for? And, we're still going through that process now. So Dave, tell me, what exactly is, search engine optimization?
Well, yeah, like I said before, it's getting your business on first page of Google, beating your competitors, so you are getting all that traffic. But it's mostly on your website. People get the biggest mistake we see is when you do even the title, it still says home. It's like, what? Go home? Why? Come on! At least have your main keyword in there and what your business is about. So if your business is IT support, your main keyword on your homepage should be IT support. And then your brand name, it's so obvious, but people miss it out every time. And again, I'll say, I do love a passion for WordPress. I think it's a lot easier to rank. You can do a lot more on it. You can integrate many, many things. But yeah, we can go into more details on that.
And the SEO strategy applies to, articles in terms of text, images, what the images are called, the titles of the images, the tagging, and just give us a brief explanation on different types of tags and elements that SEO cover within a standard website.
So your main part is your on-site SEO, which is each page. And as you've already mentioned, you don't rank websites, you rank pages.
Yeah.
People don't Google for a website, they will Google for a solution to a problem or a product or a service. That's the easiest way of explaining it. So each page needs to be optimized to what the customer is actually searching for. Not just one page, but every single page. Upload images, make sure you've named them, you've put a description in there. You see it all the time where you look on a website and it will say Canon 13642. Well, that's going to help Google a lot, isn't it? So you need to name this picture and what it's about, even if it's a picture of, because you do get companies struggling on what picture to upload. Say an accountant, for example. Get pictures off the street, get pictures of your local town, pictures of your business cards, but still name each picture and what it is and what it's about. And because Google search, it's crazy when it comes to images. How many times have you searched for an image?
Yeah, exactly. And it pops up and it's got that name on it. Talk to me just quickly about Google My Business. This has always been something that people Google, and it pops up in the right-hand side of your browser window there. Why is this probably one of the most underrated tools right now in terms of posting, updating, making sure you've got the right keywords in there? What effect does Google My Business have on the ranking of my website?
Well, it's a major factor because it's owned by Google, just as much as YouTube's owned by Google, so by same thing again, putting stuff on YouTube. But your Google My Business is literally your main directory of what your business is about. So all your information's in there, what services you do, your contact number, links to your website, upload all your images and videos, and Google looks after you. And during even this, what's gone off with COVID, they're really looking after businesses even more so. And if your Google My Business is optimized right, and you're showing what we call in the map pack, you're gaining 30-40% of all clicks relative to your business.
Is the Google My Business then effectively like the kind of 2020 version of the phone book that used to drop through your door?
Oh yeah. I mean, the days of Yale and Thomson local books have disappeared.
That's how that's come up. Excellent. Okay, no, that's really interesting. Why does it take so bloody long for SEO to play out through a website? So, and I know this because you told me this and you've educated me this, but if you got your website and you got it all up and running and we finish it day one, all the images are right, the meta description's right, everything's all on point, why is the phone not going to ring the next day?
Yeah, easy answer. Google doesn't literally scan your website every day. You're not BBC News where they've got new content every 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. I always try and explain it as if you put new content on and Google scans it in say a week or two, it will index that page, put it where it thinks it's relevant compared to the keywords and the relevance for your competitors. And then, but if you don't do anything, Google's going to go back to you, crawl your website and go, well, they've not done anything in a fortnight. I'm going to leave it a month. And then it'll go back in a month and go, well, you haven't done anything again. So it'll wait 2 months. And as you can see, this time of crawling your website and your pages is going to take even longer and longer. So the more content you do, which has got to be quality content, the more times Google will keep crawling your website.
So every time, so what we're saying then is basically every time someone's Googling a term that you've got ranked on your website, it kind of shoots out that net and it says who's got websites, web pages, articles, images talking about that. And it goes and grabs them. And then the indexing is where it kind of puts them all in order. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're going to love this analogy. I'm sure you're going to use this again, like the fishing rod. And then the next week they go and do it and they see you've put something else out and they're going, hang on a minute, you're playing the game right. I'm going to rank you a little bit higher, and away you go. And then kind of that's how that goes. Whereas if you don't put anything on your website for a month, it shoots out the net, nothing gets picked up because you haven't put anything on it. And guess what? Your website's kind of at the bottom. If you don't update it again the next month, you kind of basically, it's just using up electricity, really, isn't it? So you've got to use it. It's like all social media and the dreadful word we all use so much in my space, a bloody algorithm. You've got to use it to exercise your fishing rod, don't you, Dave? There you go. I'll let you have that one.
Exactly. It is different. I mean, if it's a very niche market and there's not much competition, you might stay at top for a while. But generally, the competition out there is it's high. So you've got to keep on form with your content. Relevant content as well. Yeah.
And I guess particularly now with COVID, people are learning new skills. They're working from home with laptop on one hand, and then they're learning how to do development on the other, or whatever it might be. Everyone's now a kind of an expert. But as you said, you've learned how to get the clients with the results that you've got through the strategy with SEO over the last 10 years. So it isn't, it hasn't been an easy thing for yourself as well as an easy thing for, for everyone else.
Well. Sometimes one of the strategies we do use is why create content you don't know your customers are searching for. So in one of the software apps we use, we find your best competitors in country, find out which pages are giving them the most traffic, and replicate that on your website. That way you're going to start gaining some of that traffic.
Yeah, and we were just talking about this actually earlier on, because Dave was really, really keen to show some screenshots. I said, "That's great, mate, but this is audio." But it's also on Facebook, on YouTube as well. But I think what we are going to do, Dave and I are just talking about it. We're going to put a small mini series together on SEO, and we're going to drop it into the IT Experts app. So the link to the IT Experts app is in the show notes here, and keep an eye out for David's SEO little masterclass. We'll put a little thing together. Dave, what's the fundamental things that people need to be considering around their website? And I think it's around the website, SEO is the strategy, but I think around the website in 2020, what's an absolute must to stand out from your competition?
Oh, your biggest thing is search intent. It's got to be. And like I mentioned before, the intent behind the intent. But you've got to keep your meta titles right, your meta descriptions to get better click-through rate, prominent call to actions on your website, things that stand out and make it easier for your customers. If you go down thousands and thousands of pages and you're trying to squeeze too much in, you're just going to overwhelm people. Keep it simple. And when you land on the website, does it answer their questions straight away? And if it does, you're going to start to win a lot of customers.
And what are some of the actions that people are putting on websites right now that are working? I know ebooks were very successful at one point now. I'm not quite sure how they're performing at the moment. But what's, in your client base, what's working in terms of taking that client, they've come, they've got the search intent, they've landed on the right website. What's converting them into the email list right now?
Great call to actions, make it easy for people to get in contact with you. Give away, you will get this all the time, give away as much information as possible, because 99% of people won't do it. They will see you as an authority and use you. But people are scared of giving away information. Come on, we love it. And keep giving away the hints, the tips. Offer something for free, but make sure it's value. Another switch way around is a lot of people say, well, I'm not going to send you this free PDF until you give me your email address. Try something different. Give them the free PDF, and then say, do you mind if you give me, can I have your email address to can send you more information? Switch it round to different to what everybody else is doing.
No, exactly that. And, one of the things that we've done recently, we've just released this app, as I've just said. And one of the things that is good and it's not great is that when you can sign up with your private Apple ID, which is no use to my email campaign. However, they're in my app. They're in the community, they're learning and they're educating. So I now just have to switch my attention to say, well, let's go and serve them in the app. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to touch them on the email address, but we'll go and get them in the app. And it's kind of looking at different ways. And I was actually talking to someone this morning about how you can create apps to create your own community and maybe education and support. Was it you said, Dave, that the it might not have been actually, bearing in mind you put websites together, but the app is potentially going to be one of the new, the new website, because it's already there. People don't have to go into Google and kind of those things. What do you think about that?
It's great, because at the end of the day, even a normal website can convert into an app.
Yeah.
And the good thing about it is it's always there. It's in front of them. You get notifications within the app. So if you keep constantly giving value, people will enjoy it.
Yeah, no, that's great. It's been really, really useful talking to you today. But I just want to for the people who are sitting out there now, for the techie business owners who are thinking, yeah, do you know what? I need to do something with my website right now, but I don't really know what it is. How would they know if their website could perform better? I probably would pose that question in that format.
Easiest thing is pop over an email to us and I'll do you a live video audit. There you go. And you'll see how effective it can be. And give us your best competitor and we'll show you the difference. Because the auctionman coming out of me here.
Here you go.
You can spend 5, 10, 20,000 pounds on a website, but if nobody can find it, what was the point?
And I guess if you've got a website out there and it's not generating leads, it's not generating, an email, in an email list for you. It's not generating phone calls there, and it's a business website. Then you've got to kind of challenge yourself. What is it doing then?
Yeah.
What's the value of that as an asset? As a digital asset, and kind of coming on to that thing right now. I know there's absolutely millions of add-ons and apps and integrations and everything like that right now. What's some of the most powerful? I consider apps and the kind of the add-ons and the plugins to be a little bit like spoilers I used to put back on my Fiesta back and what are some of the really sexy things that you've seen over the last year that have really helped people get their website really performing well?
Well, one of the main things is your email system. MailChimp and even like Active Campaign, which is probably one of the best, integrates with WordPress. And the advantage behind it is it's automated replies. If somebody clicks on this, they give them a different email. If they click on something else, they get a different response. Other integrations like WooCommerce is really, really good for
payments, isn't it?
Yeah, payment systems, shopping systems. You can add all this in back end of a WordPress website, and it's free. Some of this stuff doesn't cost any money. Whereas if you went down the Wix route, every add-on is extra money. So, yeah.
I mean, other websites are available, but they are. It's the Wix route is. I think we'll talk about budget websites in terms of a false economy and what you want to get out of it. If every time your phone rung, it meant that you're earning another 500 quid a month, how much would you spend on your website? It's kind of like getting to that ROI point of view and making sure that, it is a digital asset at the end of the day. By the way, this podcast, we started off with a script and we just
went off on one.
It just went off on one. I've got another question for you, which I just thought of. It is relevant to websites, so you'll be delighted with this one. What's your view on chatbots on websites at the moment, David? See that quite a bit at the moment, don't we? On the websites, let me kind of help you. Do they work? Do they convert? Do people like it? What do Google think of it? And kind of what's your kind of view on those?
My own personal opinion, I hate the goddamn things.
Spit it out, Dave. Spit it out.
People want to talk to a human. They're fed up with automation.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're about yourself, but when you're phoning up a call center and press 6, press 5, press 10, it does your head in.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same with a chatbot. I just want to speak to somebody who's human. And I think if you're there for people when you need it, then you're going to get a better conversion rate or converting them into a client than having a chatbot. That's just my own personal opinion.
And I guess, we need to relate this into the tech space, but is it for them to have a button for them to call you? Is it for them to have a button for, the tech company to phone you back? Or is it a form for an email address? What's the one that converts the most?
Well, I'll still say the clickable telephone number.
Yeah.
If somebody Googles it, lands on your website, your mobile's prominent and they can tap on it and ring you.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many people don't have a clickable telephone number on the website, so you can't get in contact.
Yeah.
Now, where I'll say no to chatbots, I'm on about these automated ones. If you've got a link to, say, Facebook Messenger app or an instant chat system on your website, that will convert well because people know they're going to get instant help.
Right. Good recovery on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, Dave, this has been absolutely brilliant, a great load of value bombs, and hopefully it's going to help the community out in understanding, how to get the best out of your, supercharging your SEO for your IT MSP and your tech business. Dave, do you just want to spend a couple of minutes and just explain how people can get in contact with you? I know you mentioned about a free audit before, which I went through, which was absolutely mind blowing. So the floor's yours again, mate.
You can get in contact with me at david@loudcrowd.agency, or again, just ask yourself and I'm sure you'll send them a link.
Yeah.
Other than that, give us a phone call or send us an email from his website.
And tell us about the audit that you offer, Dave.
Well, the video audit is I will do a full rundown on your website from top to bottom, telling you reasons why you're not getting as many clicks, your call to actions might not be right, the layout might be incorrect, and then I'll go into ranking factors as well for you. So showing you which keywords you've not used, why your pages are not working, compare that to your competitors. There's loads in there. Even your Google My Business, is it optimized? Are you making the most out of it? Are you posting every 7 days? Yeah, let's go deep.
Excellent stuff. No, and that's a brilliant offer, and I'd value, or I'd recommend that anybody who's listening to this podcast takes Dave up on that offer. Even if they think that they've got themselves a great website, let them have a look at it, and it's absolutely free, and it's a brilliant thing for you to do, Dave. So thanks very much for that. So that's it for the end of this show. As usual, go back and listen to it again. Take some notes. If there's anything that you need any help and support with, then ask Dave. Don't ask me. And don't forget that we've just released the IT Experts app. Go into the app, download the app, and take the IT Experts test. And this test will help you understand the areas that you need to focus on to help and support your IT MSP business grow. So that's it from me today. I look forward to catching up with you on the next show. Thanks again, Dave, for your time and support with the podcast. I wish you all the very best, and take care and have a great rest of your day. All the best now.
Thank you very much, Ian. Cheers.
Cheers, mate. So thanks very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, then please remember to subscribe, rate and review. I'd really appreciate that. And also check the show notes out for all the latest developments at the IT Experts Growth Academy. If we haven't already, then let's connect on LinkedIn, YouTube and over at our website at innovate2success.com. Until next time, you look after yourself, and I'll catch up with you soon.